Tonight on the Black Channel. It's a pretty remarkable feat when someone who's always been the scum of the old black media is able to sink to a whole new low. But Roland Martin has done it. The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, the everlasting superfortress of intelligent black thought. We are the Black Media. This is the Black Channel. I am the Black Authority. And you are listening live to the only historically black college and university of higher education and learning in the cosmos. Join us. And you're going to probably wonder if you should have after tonight here, because I'm not going to mince words here. Folks, there are some things that are simply beyond all disgust and reasoning and tolerance. And I know that you all don't follow the old dead black media like that. It is our job to keep following them here so we make sure that they never resurrect themselves, so that people always remember why they stopped following them. And of all the things that I've heard from Roland Martin, let me tell you, what I'm hearing here tonight, in my opinion, this surpasses butt dancing for Hillary Clinton. Jason, you're ventilated about it. What in the world are you upset about? Because it is one thing that was already absolutely reprehensible enough. But for those of you who have not been keeping up to date on it, I could do a lot of things. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold off on the graphics here for just a moment, because I want you to hear it before you see it. This is Roland Martin. This was Roland Martin on his program. He wasn't alone. And some atrocities speak for themselves.
All right, black women are showing up at sperm banks looking for black sperm donors. They want a black baby. The problem is there's a severe shortage, and they literally are having to pick sperm of folk from other races. According to the Genetic Literacy Project, only 1,000 applicants of all races make it through the screening process, which also attributes to the black donor shortage. Less than 2% of black sperm donors are specimens in the nation's 4 largest cryobanks. Dr. Tiffany Jones is a reproductive endocrinology and infertility specialist. She joins us now from Dallas. Tiffany, glad to have you here.
So for all the people who have wanted to say the black males are just running around spraying their sperm like fire hoses, what they're telling you is that, by the way, in the largest sperm banks, black men are only 2%. 6 or 7% of the population, but we're only 2% in the sperm banks. Black men are not making themselves available like that. So with all this my body, my choice and reproductive health and control and whatnot, black men, now you're getting the documentation and the data, and they're here to tell you that this is wrong.
I mean, it's one of those things, I mean, you just don't think about. There are people out there, and people just think that, folks, they get pregnant, that they have children, but there are people who actually go to sperm banks. But 2%, so in the nation, 2% of all available sperm donors are black?
Yeah, that's a scary statistic, but it's very...
That's a scary statistic? What the hell is scary about that? Not a word about black families. What the hell is scary about that statistic? How in the world is that a scary statistic? What in the world type of Doctor Who mad scientists are we dealing with here that's a, quote, scary statistic? How about having a family? How about a family starting with a man and a woman? So they go and grab this quack out of Dallas, Texas, And she's sitting up here telling you, oh, this is a scary statistic. How in the hell is that scary? There's nothing scary about not wanting our genetic legacy simply given away willy-nilly out there. You see, white feminism did not infect the black male psyche. We didn't see ourselves as being dehumanized in that way, and we've been leading the way back. And she's telling you, well, you're just black males. I mean, shouldn't you be out here just throwing it around? What's wrong with that? Because that's our legacy. That's what's wrong with it. Not sure where her people are from. Her name is Tiffany Jones, but not sure where her people are from. Maybe it's worth some investigation.
But 2%, so in the nation, 2% of all available sperm donors are black?
Yeah, that's a scary statistic, but it's very true. It's very hard to recruit African American donors, and black women aren't the only women who want to use black donors. And so,
whoa! Now if this was what was being said about black women, that black men aren't the only ones who want to see black women with a BBL. Black men aren't the only ones who want some black female eggs. If you were saying this about black women, would she be sitting up here talking like that? That it's a scary statistic that more black men simply don't make their big plantation buck genes available to everybody. Anybody and everybody who wants it here. This is not plantation talk. This is slave master talk. You have completely removed the humanity and dehumanized the black male genetic structure. You've reduced it down to a commodity like a damn can of beans. That we as black men simply should not care what happens to our genes, to our bloodlines. They're not talking like human beings up here. Roland and this quack Dr. Jones are talking like two psycho doctors from some insane horror flick. You have completely dehumanized black men. You've reduced black men literally to sperm donors. That is a dispenser like a vending machine. And she's sitting up here, just cheesing and grinning. Ain't nothing to it. Now, if we were talking about black women this way, LGBT this way, white women this way, it would be a whole different reaction. Black men are supposed to just expect ourselves to be dehumanized, disrespected, disenfranchised, disregarded. That sure, she can go take our genes and go raise a child without us. Because your genes, your genetics are not worth anything. It's worth being given to a random stranger. And by the way, they're literally giving it away. By the way, when you hear what they talking about here, they're literally basically giving it away. Literally.
Now, give me an idea of, do we have a percentage of how many of the people who go on the sperm banks, how many are black women?
I would say from my patient population, probably at least 40% of them.
So you got 40%.
Now, isn't this amazing? On the one hand, they tell you to get an abortion at any time and every time. On the one hand, they tell you to get an abortion whenever you can. That's what black women need to do, is get abortions. Don't worry. We'll see about getting the immigrants, illegal aliens, to make up your numbers. Then they say here later, okay, when you have completely lost any opportunity to be part of a functional family, well, go ahead and see, all of y'all can go flood to the sperm bank. This is absolutely disgusting. This is disgusting. This is sickening. And of course, it's black men who need to be the sperm donors. Of course, it's black men who need to do that. Black men need to fall in line.
of folks, again, you're paid 40% are black women. The availability is 2% black sperm donors.
Absolutely.
Wow. And you were making the point that women of other races want a black sperm donor.
Absolutely.
All right. First of all, now how does that work? Meaning,
now let me tell you something right there. She's talking about absolutely, like that's supposed to be some damn compliment. That's not a compliment. That is not a compliment. Telling us that all these different groups of women, but they would love to have some black men's babies. That ain't no damn compliment. That's like smacking black women on the ass and saying, boy, I sure would love to have a black woman. You're not talking about her brain, her intellect, her soul, her spirit, her majestic, melanated essence. You ain't talking about that at all. It's just, hey, look at this ass. Boy, sure would love this. That's not a compliment to talk about, yeah, white women would love to have a black man's baby. That ain't no damn compliment. If I'm telling the truth, give me a damn thumbs up in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. There's going to be a whole bunch of folk out here upset with me tonight, but if I'm telling the truth, give me a thumbs up in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. To let folks know this is the reality over here. We do speak for the black street. We do speak for the rank and file. After all these centuries of establishing and solidifying our humanity, you're now telling us that black men's genes aren't worth anything more than a common commodity.
Wow. And you were making the point that women of other races want a black sperm donor.
Absolutely.
All right. First of all, now how does that work? Meaning, if you get a black sperm donor, does that sperm only go to one person, or can it be split up?
Yeah. So when a donor makes a deposit, the sperm that they give can potentially be used for many vials of sperm, and one insemination would take one vial. So if they had 10 vials, that can go potentially for 10 different women, or for less women if they acquire more vials for themselves.
Now, can you all see the immediate problem here? Do you see the immediate problem? If you give out your sperm out here like that, this is what this sick white supremacist culture has come up with. You give up your sperm out here like this, and you just got mad children running around all over the damn place. Don't you realize that your genes stand a very real possibility of running into each other out there? They don't know where they came from. And unless they are inclined to get a genetic test, that's it. They're just going to take your genes and thrust them out there into the world, and lo and behold, it is a sick thought to think about it. But with individuals like Derek Jackson running around out here, I said it. And little old Nick Cannon doing what he do. Yeah, black men are being responsible. We're being the most responsible people. We're only 2% in the damn sperm banks. Yes, we are the most responsible. But you've got the feminist culture trying to influence us and pressure us and tell us we need to be less responsible. So now you're going to have your genes running around out there, and your children or grandchildren are going to run into somebody somewhere. They're going to strike up a conversation. It's going to go really well. They're going to be talking. They're going to be vibing. And then sooner or later, they're going to show up somewhere, and folks are going to start throwing their clothes off and have no idea that they are siblings. No idea whatsoever. You have obliterated the family tree, and they have no idea that they are siblings. And Roland Martin and Dr. Feelgood up here are telling you that this is what we need to be doing. We need to do that instead.
Now, what's the issue in terms of lack of donors? Is it, I mean, first of all, I don't know. Are people paid to be sperm donors? Is that part of the problem? Is the pay?
What is the issue with lack of donors? How about not having a lack of integrity? How about not having a lack of humanity? How about not having a lack of decency? How about it that black men don't have that low of a threshold of decency? That we're more decent than that, more humane. We're not this debauched, hedonistic group out here that we've been painted to be, that we just can't wait to go lay down and everything in life revolves around our genitalia. How about that's the reason that black men are far more reserved and conservative about our sexuality than we've been given credit for being? We don't have a government program that got your back for being a sexual degenerate. How about that, Roland? I know that's kind of hard for you to figure out. Don't worry, nobody's going to ever ask you to come to the sperm bank.
Is it, I mean, first of all, in terms of lack of donors, first of all, I don't know. Are people paid to be sperm donors? Is that part of the problem? Is the pay too damn low? Or is it just, or is there no outreach? Is there no campaign to target people?
Well, it's multifactorial. I think for just for us being Black people, we know that there's a stigma for Black males. And I think asking someone to be a donor may be a little contradictory to how we feel about families, or the stigma that we put on Black males is they don't want to take care of their family. But then on the other hand, you're asking them to be donors.
Yeah, that's exactly it right there. On the one hand, you're running around talking about black men are not taking care of their children, when in reality, most black men don't have kids like that. And now you're sitting up talking about, well, we need y'all to come out here and blow it out. No. And it didn't take a government program. It didn't take a church. This is who we are as a group. We are disciplined as a group. Talk about being on code. We're not just sitting out here and throwing our genes all over the damn place so any old slutty broad can sit up here and do that. No, that's not who we are. And she's shocked and surprised that black men do not want their genes spread all over the damn place, all crazy. There's a stigma on that. No, there's a stigma on debased, debauched, inhuman behavior. There's a stigma on that, ma'am.
Contradictory to how we feel about families, or the stigma that we put on Black males is they don't want to take care of their family. But then on the other hand, you're asking them to be donors. Yes, donors are paid, and they're paid very little. On average, it's about $65 for a donation, compared to an egg donor who might get $5,000 to $10,000.
Did you hear that? So, they want the black men to line up like people at the Apple store on the day before Christmas. They want us lined up like people outside of Best Buy on Black Friday, pardon the expression, so you can get $65 because that is what your genetic structure is worth. You see, when we talked about Henrietta Lacks, those are her genes we're talking about. The cells of Henrietta Lacks, those were her genes we were talking about. But for black men, you are being told that your genes ain't worth a damn thing. I told y'all, they're basically saying, we want you to come show up and give them away. So you can take your sacred family bloodline and genetic structure and democratize it to anything and everything with a turkey baster and some bad thoughts. And there it goes. And here's your $65. Get a tank of gas. We'll take your genetic legacy and you can get a tank of gas. And by the way, as if life wasn't complicated enough, you all do know there's chicks out there, you become a sperm donor, and then they want to come back and put you on child support, and then you got courts who will allow it. By the way, she isn't saying a damn thing about that. Yeah, you could mess around and become a sperm donor, and next thing you know, here's your child support papers. This isn't after the fact rape. Nothing at all. While they're sitting up here liking that. While they're sitting up here cheering for that. This is Roland Martin.
Whoa. $65? And you
Yeah.
said an egg donor may get 5 to 10 grand? Okay.
Yeah. Well, what goes into it is how much effort it takes to donate sperm. It's very minimal effort, whereas someone who's donating eggs has to do a month-long process, undergo a surgical procedure. So it's really compensating for the time spent to donate those.
Oh no, I mean I get that, but hell, if you got a 2%, if all you got is 2%, you might have to jack the pay up to get
Absolutely.
more. I mean, hell, I mean, imagine if you go from 65 to 250.
Let me tell you, you big rotisserie built bastard! Our genes are not something for a damn auction block! Do you all hear this? You damn right I'm yelling it! Do you hear this? Do you hear what he's saying? Well, you know, I mean, we get the price up. Now, if this was Jerry Jones, mic drop. If this was Jerry Jones and the NFL Combine, and they were talking about black male sperm, people, this is how far we can go with it. This can go full damn tilt Gattaca in this son of a gun. Okay, if anybody can go to the sperm bank, what's to prevent white men from going to the sperm bank? There's an idea for you. If you can get some of these dumbass NFL and NBA athletes to give up their genes like that, what's to prevent a Jerry Jones or a Steve Ballmer from saying, well, hell, this'll work? Because if this was them at the NFL combines, doing like the old slave auction blocks, grabbing the black male scrotums to see if they could divine how fertile and robust his offspring will be, this would be a whole damn different conversation. So you got these two white men with their old English uniforms and their shoelace bow ties on, and they got their little top hats, and the one is talking to the other, well, sir, I believe that we can go ahead and give you some of the man paraphernalia from this one here. He's a nice strong buck. I'm willing to let you have that for $70. Well, you know, I mean, can you I'll pay you $70 for it, sir. Well, you know, as I got folks to feed, I got another shipment that's not gonna be in for a few weeks. You know, it's rough on me over here. Can we get that number up a little bit more? Can we do a little bit better than that? Can we do 100? Well, no, 100. No, I'm not so. Actually, I really need 300. Well, I mean, 300, sir. That's difficult. Perhaps we could do $90. Man, look here. Okay, how about $275? $125. Okay, how about $225? $190. Okay, well, how about $200? Deal, sir. Handshake. Think about that for a few moments. Think about that for a few moments, because that is what you just heard. You just heard, well, can we negotiate the value of black men's genetics? Why don't we sit here and come up with a reasonable price tag on black men's genetics? Roland, you've been sitting around with them white folk at the Skull and Bones Society for too damn long is what's going on. Y'all been having your little secret conversations for a little bit too long, and now you've brought it out here into the open, most likely because they sent you. But by the way, yeah, y'all should have thought this over a little bit better. I want you all to hear, Roland is literally sitting here telling this woman, well, what can we do to bid up the price? That we can get more black men to be sperm donors, which is an absolutely sickening thought to begin with. But then we can give them hey, you know, these niggas don't care about nothing but some dollars. Hell, they mugged their grandmama for an extra $20 here. Let's go ahead and do that. People, he's sitting here saying this on YouTube for the world to hear. You thought the worst thing that Roland Martin ever did and the old black media ever did, and by the way, he's not by himself. Oh, for those of you who thought I was doing this program tonight and it's just Roland, no, he's not by himself. And he's literally sitting here haggling with this woman over what the price of black male sperm should be. Well, $65 is too low. Can you give me $250? Now think about that for a few moments, because the first step is auctioning off your sperm. The next step is auctioning off your babies. That's the next logical step. And what I'm saying is for you to think that's okay, that you can sell your babies like selling a car. This is what separates us from Roland Martin and the old dead black media. They have no souls. They have no scruples. They have no decency. And they have no souls. And we are the sole defenders of decency, of humanity, of integrity. While he's sitting over there with YouTube boosting this in the algorithm, by the way.
All you got is 2%. You might have to jack the pay up to get more. I mean, hell, imagine if you go from 65 to 250.
Absolutely. There is a supply and demand, and black donors are definitely in demand. So a higher donation to them will probably be
all right,
better.
hold up. So
Okay, I got an idea, Dr. Strangelove. If you want a black man's sperm, if you want a black man's DNA, you need to be wife material. How about that one? How about instead of trying to treat us like it's 7-Eleven or Circle K, how about prove to the men that you're wife material and suitable for a family? Because let me tell you something, folks. Something has value when it is scarce. Scarcity breeds value. So if you want black men, well, that's not something you can put a dollar price tag on. No, we don't want the woman's money. You got to bring the whole woman. We don't want your damn dollars, because what we have is priceless. Bring the whole female who intends to be the recipient. She got to put that on the line. You cannot put a dollar figure on majestic black manhood. You can't put a dollar figure on that. Roland Martin, of course, who is devoid of black manhood, of course, he thinks he can put a dollar figure on it because he's like, hell, mine ain't worth but 2 cents. Okay, Roland, I can see why you figure you can put a dollar value on it. But for the rest of us, no.
Let me, okay, this is my last question before I go to the panel. All right, so they get paid $65. Woman comes in and she wants a sperm donor. How much she got to pay for the sperm?
$1,200.
Hold up. See right there. See now we got a problem. She got to pay $1,200, and all he getting is $65.
So these sperm banks do have to do a lot of testing and background work for the.
Now wait till you hear what the background work is. By the way, wait till you hear what that is.
Screening process to make sure there's safety, FDA regulations are followed, physical exams. So I do think there's a great disparity between how much it costs and how much someone is given for that donation. And that definitely can be made a little bit better, but I don't want to make it seem like sperm banks don't have to do a lot of work.
Now, people, you all know that selling organs is illegal. In the United States, selling organs is illegal. You're supposed to go on the organ donor list, and then from there you get evaluated and they determine who is in the most need. Selling organs is illegal, and they are openly talking about selling your vital bodily parts. They're openly talking about selling your vital bodily properties. Openly. Do you understand that this is how inhumane and barbaric Roland Martin and his guest are? And they've got company.
Oh, no, man, I get that, but again, you said supply and demand, and so hell, this ain't no different than folk out there saying we can't hire workers. Well, you might have to increase your pay and your benefits to hire workers, and so you want more black sperm donors, you got to put some more money on the table.
You pulled pork built bastard! This is not about like hiring a damn employee. We're talking about fathers. We're talking about the genetic makeup and the structural makeup of the black family. This isn't having a damn hiring clinic. This isn't a job fair. We're talking about the makeup of a black family, the structure of a black family. That's what the hell we're talking about. The structure of a black family, and he's talking about it as if we were at a temp agency signing people up to work at General Motors. Do you understand this? As if that's all we're doing.
Unfortunately, that usually translates to making black women pay more for donor sperm.
How about become a female worth a man and you get his sperm and a whole bunch, you actually get money, you get the financial benefits. Do you hear how monstrously barbaric these two are talking? They're talking about black men as if we are inhuman. But worse, they're talking about black babies as if this is a transaction like buying a damn candy bar, not as if this is the most precious thing in the universe. Black babies are the most precious things in creation. And him and Dr. Doom are up here talking about black babies as if it's the same as buying tacos on a cheap sale night. Not even tacos on full sale night. Taco Del Taco, was it Del Taco? It's like they're talking like you're going there. No, this is frightening. They're not talking to white women like that. They're talking to us like that. This is frightening because they're literally sitting here on Roland Martin's program holding a damn think tank. And I'm not joking when I say that. They're holding a think tank to determine how can we convince black men to devalue themselves even more. Y'all need to make sure you share this program tonight. Elon Musk has already gotten proof that Twitter is shadow banning folk. We know they do it over here on YouTube. You need to share this tonight because this is a conversation we absolutely must have. The black family is supposed to be the nucleus of everything. And a family, as I've told you for over a decade, a family begins with a man and a woman, not a woman and a group of kids. The prison industrial complex is completely powered by single mothers. Not even single fathers. Single mothers are single-handedly powering and fulfilling and fueling the prison industrial complex. And you got Roland and Nurse Oddball sitting up here telling us we need to go all in even more. Black men have so much sexual discipline and they're telling us we need to give up even more. As opposed to saying, you know what, the men have set the model here. Why is this out of balance? Nature never intended women to be artificially inseminated. If you are a woman and you wish to be a mother, you need to be approved by the men to become a mother. There needs to be a man somewhere who's signed off on specifically you having the privilege of carrying a baby. You don't have a right to carry one. That's a privilege. And there's supposed to be a man somewhere who signs off on that and says, yes, I've approved this daffy broad over here. That's what's supposed to happen. Now, as I said, by the way, they're not by themselves. They're literally holding a think tank. Literally holding a think tank on Roland's program to figure out how to make black men become bedbugs.
But the problem is ain't that many black men to choose from. So something gonna have to happen.
Absolutely.
All right, let's see here. Michael, you first. What's your question for Tiffany?
I knew you were going to come to me first, Roland. I knew you were going to come to me first.
Well, you look like you were hard up to ask a question.
So none other than Michael Emotep, an individual who it has become glaringly clear is so desperate and hopeful for a cable television news show or something else here. Of all the people that he could have chosen to sell or lease his soul to, he chose Roland Damn Me Martin. He couldn't at least even choose somebody who's on the ball and about something. The best Michael could do was grab Roland Martin and hope for the best. That's a sad commentary on Michael. That's a sad commentary on Michael. The thirst is real out here. So many of them are so desperate to get out of the YouTube ghetto and the Facebook ghetto. He's like, well, hell, let me go ahead and lease my soul to Roland. He couldn't at least find a real platform to do it on. This is a sad commentary from Michael. Loss after loss after loss.
No. Look, Dr. Tiffany, thanks for coming on and sharing this information with you. I did not know that the issue was this pertinent, that the disparity existed. I saw an article from October 20th from the Washington Post dealing with this topic.
The Washington Post. Let me back that up one more time so that you all understand where this is coming from.
That the disparity existed. I saw an article from October 20th from the Washington Post dealing with this topic.
He saw an article in the Washington Post. Now, who owns the Washington Post? And who is it that you saw on my program? Roland Martin was begging to be an advertiser on his program a couple of years ago. Who owns the Washington Post? Because everything that goes in that paper comes from him. Oh yeah, Jeff Bezos. Do you know the other story that the Washington Post and other newspapers have been printing? That Amazon has exhausted in many areas the number of available eligible employees for hire. That Amazon's fulfillment centers run through people at such a frightening rate that in many areas they consider the places to simply be manpower depleted. That they have depleted the pool of manpower in these areas. So in other words, for the most part, most of the people who can work have either already worked for the fulfillment centers or don't want to. They've depleted the manpower. Yeah, this is how far we are off into this. So yeah, connecting the dots. We connected the dots directly from the sick, demented mind of Roland Martin and his cast-off, easily purchased soul to the rest of his bootlicks and flunkies, all the way up to the richest people in the world telling you that they have a vested interest in simply having a body to put in their warehouse. That's what this is all about. This comes from the top. No less than Jeff Bezos is saying, by the way, if we can get them black numbers up, well, hey, why don't you start using the Washington Post to talk about how we need to stop all these damn abortions? How about that, Jeff? No, they only want you to give birth so long as there is not a black male authority figure in the home. They want you to wait until after the children will not have a member of the warrior class to teach them to be individuals who will resist oppression and will resist exploitation. They want to wait until after that. No. Don't get the young chicks. Get these chicks who in their 30s and 40s, so you can go ahead and take care of that, and that they've already made a commitment that they will not have the children being corrupted by some powerful, authoritative black male influence who will teach them not to bow under our authority. They'll be trained by a single mother who's going to teach them, okay, well, I can't raise a boy into a man, but I can certainly raise a boy into an entry-level employee. I can do that. So I've connected the dots for you all straight from Bowling Ball Martin to Jeff Bezos. And if Jeff Bezos was willing to give Van Jones $100 million, and you already saw what Van Jones did for that, boy, how much are these other folks willing to buck dance for in just the hopes that he's going to cut a check for them?
The disparity existed. I saw an article from October 20th from the Washington Post dealing with this topic. I was wondering, are African-American advertising agencies being utilized to craft messages specifically targeting African-American men, trying to recruit them to be sperm donors? Because there could be a lot of...
They're only paying $65.
This is the biggest, most embarrassing, humiliating genetic coon fest ever witnessed by the eyes of mankind. Michael Emotep is literally sitting up here. Well, can we have some black advertisers to go ahead and to promote this? Maybe if we had some black advertisers, we could do that. This is Michael Emotep. This is not Roland. This is Michael. This is Michael. Can we get some black advertising agencies? So all of them are so devoid of decency that they're all saying, well, let's go find some black men to give up their genetics and let's see if we can cake off of this. Maybe Jeff Bezos will be willing to pay us a couple of $1 million to a black advertising firm. They are talking about black men in completely dehumanized terms.
Because there could be a lot of in our community, there may be a lot of apprehension behind that. Reading information from your website, it talked about apprehension when it comes to medical research involving African Americans, things like this. So can you shed any light on that, please?
Now, do you hear this? They sent in Michael Emotep. People, when they talked about the old preachers, you want to talk about eugenics and Margaret Sanger. What did the Eugenics Project and Margaret Sanger say? We need to get these preachers on board. If we can get the black clergy on board, find a Negro that they trust. If we come in as white folk, it's going to be too obvious. What you need to do is buy off some of their people, get someone that they trust, and let them host the conversation. So Michael Emotep is literally sitting here saying that Dr. Zhivago over here on her website is literally acknowledging that black men would have issues with these places because of medical apartheid, medical malpractice, and medical white supremacy. Yeah, she's admitting that we understand this, and so they're bringing in Michael Emotep. So they're literally sitting here on Roland's program, on Roland's show, having a round table about how they can break down our psychological defenses against what is an obvious threat and exploitation. They're not even doing this behind closed doors. They're doing this in front of the world. Having a round table to discuss how to break down and circumvent our natural self-preservation defenses. Acknowledging what we said is the problem and then saying, well, how can we get around that? How can we circumvent that? They're worried because the hospitals take your organs and you get messed up for medical care, and they're worried about that. So how do we get around that? Michael wants to know.
From your website, it talked about apprehension when it comes to medical research involving African Americans, things like this. So can you shed any light on that, please?
Yeah, so I would say that using specifically African American marketing agencies is likely not happening.
Oh boy, we all know where this goes, don't we? Oh, we all know where this train makes the stop at. Oh, Roland Martin gonna be first in line. Well, no. If you go ahead and buy some advertising with me, what y'all need to do is buy some advertising with me. That's where you're messing up at. Why don't we sit down and talk some business? So you know where this goes, folks. When you say the word advertising, Roland gonna be the first one. Hand go up, hand stay up. You know Roland Martin, he'll be the first one in line when you say buy some Did you say buy some advertising? Hand first up, hand stay up. You know that's coming without you even asking. So all she's doing is giving catnip to Roland. That's what he likes to hear.
Specifically, African-American marketing agencies is likely not happening. I don't think that people approach us in the way that we need to be approached. Sometimes you use an agency and they're using these urban videos with rap songs or something that they think is going to be something that we would want to hear, but that's not us. So yeah, using a marketing agency that is from us, by us, or us deciding to make our own sperm bank might be something that is needed, as this study or this article has identified.
Us making our own sperm bank is needed. What the hell's wrong with nature? What the hell's wrong with nature? Do you all see the amount of millions and probably billions of dollars being spent for the purposes of getting black folk to abort their babies and thus destroy the family? They're not putting any thought into, hey, how do we develop black families? Because nature has been able to get reproduction going for 160 million years just fine. Now they're telling you that natural procreation isn't good enough anymore? What the hell is this? Nature doesn't need our help. They're talking as if sperm banks are the only way to Folks, do you all realize that they have attempted to co-opt black reproduction, that these white supremacists and their black apparatchiks have attempted to influence you to think that black reproduction needs to take place under white supervision, that if a black female gets pregnant, she needs to go to the abortion clinic. And if she doesn't need to go to the abortion clinic, she needs to go to a sperm donor clinic. But what she does not need to do is find herself approved in the eyes of a black male. Now, she doesn't need to do that. So we don't need black men and black women making families. What we really need are sperm banks. As a matter of fact, let's make a black sperm bank. Now, this should be disgusting and offensive as hell to everybody. This big broad up here ain't talking about making a financial bank. She isn't talking about that. She's not talking about making a financial bank. She's not talking about making an economic bank. You know what we really need to do is get together and pool our resources and build a sperm bank. What about all these black women out here who are not wife material? Why don't we focus on them valuing the family? Nah, sperm bank. Now, who stands to profit from black children being born in single mother homes? Who is it who stands to profit from that? That's a very simple question to ask yourself. Who the hell is making cheese off of single mother homes that you're willing to put this much intellectual capital into this? You better understand what's happening here.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's see here. Matt, what you got?
Well, you know, Dr. Tiffany, what really stuck out to me when I read about this.
Yes, the guy you see on the screen, that's really his voice that you're hearing.
Was the fact that one of the screening,
Now listen to what he has to ask, though. And that's really his voice. But listen to what he had to ask. Remember earlier when we were talking about that screening criterion that she was mentioning before that you have, well, the reason why it costs $1,200 is because the sperm banks have to engage in various things, including screening. Listen to what this guy tells you.
Well, Dr. Tiffany, what really stuck out to me when I read about this was the fact that one of the screening, criteria is that you can't have a felony conviction. And the reason I ask that is, I can see theoretically DNA concerns about matches and that kind of thing, and maybe that's the genesis. But if it's purely genetic, what would be the reason behind not allowing somebody that has something completely unrelated to their genes, prevent them from being a sperm donor? And what is your thoughts on the aggregate effect of that in terms of the pool of people that might otherwise be available?
Well, I would say that, being an African-American woman, if I wanted to choose a donor, that might play a role also in what I want. Like, do I want my child to be in a gene pool of someone that was convicted from a felony?
Well, you know what? Shouldn't that apply for giving birth? If you got some scummy ass hood rat who's got a tendency of sleeping with niggas doing drugs and all laid up, that should play a part in whether or not she gives birth. So that's why she needs to go through some men. Yes, she needs to be approved by some men to approve her for motherhood. But you hear what she's saying? Well, if I wanted to have a sperm donor, whether or not he's got a felony should come into play. Literally, she's like, we're getting it anonymously. You know how many scandals there have been about these anonymous sperm donors? You're getting it anonymously, and she's telling you, that might not be good enough.
American woman, if I wanted to choose a donor, that might play a role also in what I want. Like, do I want my child to be in a gene pool of someone that was convicted from a felony? Probably not, So I don't know what exactly went into making that. It could have been to screen, so there are fewer African-American donors.
People, do you understand? I may not want my child to come from a gene pool of someone who's committed a felony. But wait a minute. That only makes sense if you're making the eugenics argument that being criminal is genetic. Do you hear what she just said? She just said, well, you wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want to come from that pool. Well, why not? Being a felon isn't, unless you believe that felony behavior is genetic. Do you believe that it's genetic? Because if you're making the argument that criminal behavior or felony behavior is genetic, well, then what you're saying makes sense. If that's what you think, and if that's what you believe, then that makes sense. People, she's making the eugenics argument. She's making the phrenology argument. Literally on Roland Martin's program, they're holding a multiple round table with people to sit here and make the eugenics and phrenology argument. And YouTube is giving it the thumbs up. She's literally sitting here arguing, well, maybe you wouldn't want the genes of a felon because, you wouldn't want it to come from his gene pool. Well, that was his behavior. That has no basis in his genes unless you're saying his genes are responsible for his behavior. In which case, you now get to make the next logical step, which is to say that, by the way, if you're going to say genes play a part in people's behavior, well, if he's black, they're more aggressive because they've got more testosterone, right? I want y'all to understand what she is saying. See, if Hillary Clinton were saying this, you would be more offended. You would be outraged. You would be revolting against it naturally and reflexively. So they send in their black bootlicks to carry the water. I wonder how much Jeff Bezos paid for this, so that he can ensure that in 20 years, there's a steady supply of work for his fulfillment centers. For those of you who did not know, there are two major projects that Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, even though they are fierce competitors and some people say mortal enemies, by the way, you all did know there are two projects that those two men have been funding. in case you didn't know. Number one is traveling into outer space because technically they want to travel to other dimensions. Number two is eternal life, fountain of youth. So what I'm telling you is that in the psyche of Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and Sergey and Brin and Google, they really do believe they gonna be here for another 2,000-3,000 years. They really do believe that they're gonna be here, so they need their companies to keep running things. They have no plans on dying. I want you to understand that they have no plans and no intentions on dying. So you can talk about Get Out. Get Out is not theoretical or a movie for them. So along with that, they need to make sure that that their businesses are still viable. That's literally what you're hearing here is they want to make sure their businesses are still viable so in 100 years they can still be running it. Like the Weyland-Yutani Corporation from Aliens.
Probably not, so I don't know what exactly went into making that. It could have been to screen, so there are fewer African-American donors. But I can say on the flip side, all the things that are screened.
Did you hear that? I don't know what went into it. Maybe it was to have fewer African-American donors. She is admitting and conceding, and I'm going to back it up so you can hear her whole comment. She is admitting and conceding what I just told you.
And what I want. Like, do I want my child to be in a gene pool of someone that was convicted from a felony? Probably not, So I don't know what exactly went into making that. It could have been to screen, so there are fewer African-American donors. But I can say on the flip side, all the things that are screened, women want to know. And just because there's a shortage doesn't mean they want to choose things or characteristics that they may not want to come out if there is a genetic link in a child.
You know what they don't screen for? They don't screen for whether or not a female is abusive. They don't screen for whether or not a female is emotionally and mentally imbalanced. They don't screen for whether or not a female is bipolar or has borderline personality disorder. They don't screen for that now, do they? They don't screen for that now, do they?
All right.
I get that part. Can I ask a follow-up, Roland? I'm sorry.
All right, come on, man. Come on. I'm trying to get out of here. Come on.
I know. I get that part. But what I don't understand is presumably the donors actually sign away all rights and everything, right? And it's all blind. So beyond the situation where you have a genetic link with someone who's actually been convicted, I mean, wouldn't that be a way to significantly potentially increase those numbers? And, what are the chances genetically, if you have any way of saying that, of that even happening? I mean, it seems like that is keeping out a very large percentage of people who might otherwise be helpful to this cause.
Yeah, so the one thing I would say is anonymity is really gone to the wayside with genetic testing. Everyone or a lot of people do 23andMe. Felony convictions sometimes do come with a DNA test. A child could find donors.
Did you hear that? Some people do 23andMe and felony convictions can come back with it. Now, how many of you were aware of that? That these groups who compile these large data banks of DNA, they're doing a lot more than just taking DNA samples. How many of you were aware of that? I dare say that for most of you, this is the first time that most of you were aware of that. That, by the way, she just said anonymity has really gone out the window when it comes to genetic testing.
He is really gone to the wayside with genetic testing. Everyone or a lot of people do 23andMe. Felony convictions sometimes do come with a DNA test. A child could find donor siblings and therefore find the donor. So I think we have to be very careful when you talk about things that are being like de-identified or blinded or an anonymous donor, because anonymity really isn't there.
Gotcha.
Tonight, what's up?
Hurry, step right up. Give your genes up so you can get on this child support.
Dr. Tiffany, I know that Black women within the ages of 35 to 45 are more unlikely than any other racial group to get married, meaning that they have to rely heavily upon these cryobanks in order to provide support with being able to have children. So I would love for you to be able to speak about the prospects of the population pool for the Black community moving forward, given this fact.
This was the most disturbing, sickening part of this entire farce of a panel. This was the most disturbing and the most sickening. She's literally saying, well, you know, Black women are remaining single. And the answer is not that you get some proper femininity skills. The answer is, well, go to a sperm bank and blow out some kids. But if you aren't fit, let me go ahead and play this.
Yeah, I see a lot of women who are moving towards being single mothers by choice because the statistics are staggering. We are single, unmarried, age is a factor in fertility. So when you get into that age group of the 35 to 40, we will have to make tough choices or forego our fertility. Egg freezing also has now offered a really big advantage to us because we can delay things longer and maybe wait it out. But there is a big disproportion for men. I just had a beautiful woman in my office today. And I'm like, girl, what's going on? And she's like, where the man at? And I'm like, girl, I don't know. She's like, you know somebody? No. Okay. And I'll keep.
Okay, let me tell you where the men went, ma'am. Let me tell you where the men went. The men went running from your ass. That's where they went. The men went running away. The men went saying, you know what? Where's the wife material? That's where the men went. The men went doing that. I didn't say you had to like it. That's where the men went. The men went trying to figure out where that was going to be at. Where's the wife material? You're not going to sit up here and have everybody saying the same damn thing. That's not the way it's going to work. That's what happened. Well, she's beautiful. Yeah, but does she have a reputation in the streets? That's the question. Nobody asked, does she have a reputation in the streets? Notice the good doctor didn't ask that. She didn't ask that. She didn't ask, by the way, are you a disciplinary problem? Do men say that you are belligerent? Do men say that you're not feminine? Do men say that you're argumentative? Do men say that you are too difficult to deal with? Do you have a sexual rap sheet filled with Pookie, Ray Ray, Mike, Lil Slug, Catfish, Cornbread, Zebo, and Debo? But you've come to my office and you're all cleaned up and dressed nice while you're here. But meanwhile, when Migos come to town, you the first damn thing throwing your butt cheeks up on the table or the stage. And the men said, yeah, not you. Oh, we'll lay up with you, but not you. No, you're not eligible. Let me explain something to you right here. And Dr. Basham over here, she knows better. Let me tell you something. You want to know where the men are? I got a novel idea here. How about stop siding with white daddy government against black men? How about that one? How about not putting up a meme every other day trying to deal with your daddy issues by attacking black men? How about that one? How about reject feminism, which includes the atrocity of abortion of a man's children? How about see black men as more than just a place to lay up, stay up, and get knocked up? How about actually become wife material rather than a sickening, detestable display of non-wife material? How about that? You know why? Because that's what worked for your great-grandmama, your grandmamas, and then by the time we get to your mamas in the Shaft era, it's all over. If you are a woman that the responsible men in this society have decided is not wife material, then nature has also decided that you are not mother material either. Our immortal queen, Mother Elder, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, spoke about this very concept in the ISIS papers, that a man needs to qualify in order to reproduce himself. Well, the inverse is also true. A woman must qualify to reproduce herself. You see, then you have structure, you have order, you have children with a purpose. And filling the empty, pathetic dregs of a life of somebody's cast-off female is not the purpose of a child. Building a legacy is the purpose of having children. You can't build a legacy as a single mom. You don't have one. So the discussion needs to be why no man considers you to be someone they want to start a family with. But you notice that is never going to come up in this conversation. That's never going to come up with here at all. They never discuss, by the way, are these women actually wife material? Do they actually deserve to raise a child? Are they actually fit and deserving to raise a child? Because all the men she's met have said no. So we need to start asking, hey, wait a minute, if all the men are swerving around you and do not want to let you have their children, there's a problem with you. You got a problem. Responsible men don't want to fool with you and are unwilling to trust you with their legacy. You're a problem. In the chat room, JLJ, we're going to have you call up here in a minute when the phone line's open. We're going to have you call up here in a minute then. Very glad you wanted to say that. Very glad you wanted to say that. We're going to go ahead and open up the phone lines here. Let me go ahead. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and stop this now. Let me go ahead and stop that now. We're going to just go ahead and open up the telephone lines here. We'll go ahead and just take our very brief commercial, non-commercial break, and LJL will be first up in line to go ahead and call in on the phones, and they can go ahead and say their piece about this, because since you have such an interesting question to ask, let's go ahead and get to that. Let's go ahead and just get to that. The telephone lines are now open. The telephone number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the black media. And we are discussing it tonight. This is the most disgusting, reprehensible thing ever. The complete and utter dehumanization of black males as a group, as an entity, as a group. If he does not call in, he is to be banned. So you got two choices, Slick. You can call up or get tossed up, one or the other. Simple as that. That's what it's going to be. If you don't have the guts to sit up here and stand by what you said, then don't sit up here and expect us to give you a platform to do it. It ain't going to happen. Not going to happen. In the meantime, here we're going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. Before we do, I want to thank everyone, and I do mean everybody who has been contributing to support tonight's program on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat. So big shout out here to Jackie. Thank you very much for your support. My man, Tommy Felix. You've been representing in the Super Chat here tonight. I appreciate that, brother. Insane Optimist. B1 Media is a lifesaver. Andrew Roberson and everyone else, thank you very much for your support. When we come back, the phone lines are open. People, this is genetic warfare targeting black men. This is a full frontal assault. They've dropped the polite tones. They're just saying now that black men are a commodity. We are a genetic commodity. Welcome to the DNA plantation. This is the Black Channel.
Our Life Recruiting and Consulting specializes in direct placement. If your company is looking to hire top talent, or you are looking to start a new career, our network of professional recruiters can help. We provide recruiting, LinkedIn lead generation, access to our professional network, paid job postings, interviewing, and more. Check out our specialized services: information technology recruiting, STEM career consulting, sales recruiting, hiring process consulting for your business, resume writing, LinkedIn profile consultation. Follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn and get higher with us.
Girl, I am so tired of Twitter and TikTok. We need something just for us.
Yeah, and I would post on 6 Zeros, but they don't have a mobile app.
That's a lie. 6 Zeros actually does have a mobile app. It's available on iOS and Android. That's your phone?
Yeah.
That is humongous.
Anyway.
6 Zeros is where the Black community taps into unfiltered and authentic conversations on the topics we know and love. I gotta get out of here. But remember, don't just sign up.
We know, you know. House.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
This is The Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant. The Black Authority and the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the blackest radio program in existence, the only one of its kind on planet Earth today, entertaining and discussing our issues. And I've told you now for well over a decade, white supremacy believes in putting money and big money behind its agenda. And now when you see something of this magnitude, where no less than the Washington Post puts up an article and then they send out Roland Martin and his propaganda party to sit up here and promote it and toe the corporate line, that tells you this goes to the top. This isn't random. This is part of an agenda. They're sitting up here attacking black men. Why are you not sitting up here talking about the need for a family? You can't sit up here and rape people. The single mother experiment has crashed and burned and failed in spectacular, horrific fashion. The single mother bastard baby maker era has been a catastrophe on par with the crashing of the Hindenburg. There's absolutely nothing redeemable about it, and the last thing we should be doing is promoting, much less sponsoring, more fatherless homes. Who in the hell sits up here and has a YouTube channel and brings on a doctor openly advocating for the financing to the point of building sperm banks to create a factory for fatherless homes? Black folk are only 2% of sperm donors? Hey, we can't have that. We got to get them numbers up. Well, I thought we need to abort all of them. Yeah, but if we can make sure they fatherless now. Because you see, if she does it on her own, then there was a man directly involved, and that man will be concerned about his legacy. But if we can just get her to sit up here and just blow out some children from a sperm bank, we ain't got to worry about no man showing up because he can't show up. So they'll just be headless workers and drones at our factories. You all better make sure you share this program tonight, because this is genetic warfare. This is genetic warfare at a basic level. The phone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Let's go ahead and hit the phone lines. Let me get caller from area code 929. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Jason. This is Daryl from Chicago.
Daryl from Chicago. What's on your mind?
Jason, powerful broadcast. In previous broadcasts, you talked about this very same thing. And for those guys, the bootlicks, the buck dancers, cow scratchers, and coons that they sent out here to promote this situation, that's crazy. That's crazy. I talk with my nephews all the time about certain things, and I thank you for giving the insight on a lot of things, because those kids, they listen. They're listening tonight again. And I'm going to share this broadcast with any and everybody I can, because this is important. I tell them we're under attack. People don't believe it. But when we're under attack like this is dangerous. This is real dangerous. But the flip side of that is we got to stay on code. And I'm going to land my plane there. Thank you much.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Folks, they used to say this behind closed doors. They used to say it in these veiled terms. They're not doing that anymore. You have a United States senator standing on the steps of the Capitol building declaring that Americans are not having enough babies, so we need the babies of illegal aliens. And then when you tell them, but hey, you've been financing and promoting and advertising that black folk need to abort their children. So far, it's 75 to 100 million gone. Well, that's cool. That we can go ahead and do that. They used to say it behind closed doors. They no longer do. Now they're saying we don't need black fathers. We need a white sperm bank. Because that's where they're going with it next. Oh, well, if there's not enough black men available, there's plenty of black men out here. There's just no longer plenty of black men willing to be stepped on, disrespected, or have our authority challenged and then told we're responsible if everything goes wrong. There's not enough of them anymore. There aren't enough productive simps out here anymore because men are waking up across the board and now the rules have changed. There are not enough productive simps anymore. Well, we need a sperm bank to compensate for the lack of productive simps. No, you become wife material and all the rest of that comes along with it. But they're not promoting that any more than they promote physical fitness among black women. See, when these white corporations show up and they're white apparatchiks show up, they always are indoctrinating and promoting debauchery. They're always promoting gutter behavior. They're always promoting deviancy. They're never promoting an organized, productive thing. It's always some sort of gutter deviancy. Everything is always some degenerate behavior. Instead of you fixing your screwed up personality so you can be wife material like all of the others, well, here, why don't you just be a fatherless woman running around here? And oh yeah, with the kids, don't worry, you can do it all. Call from area code 786. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this Pop calling in from Miami, Florida.
All right, what's on your mind?
Well, about Roland Martin and him endorsing this whole, we need more black people to come and donate. That's really crazy. I actually seen a couple videos on him, and I seen some things that I agree with, but I can't really remember right now on the spot. But this one, he's totally off the wall with. But yeah, I totally agree with everything you said about him making it sound as if it's a epidemic on us not being there, and it's such a bad thing. So yeah, I agree on that. But I did want to ask you a different question.
Okay, it's about something other than what we're talking about tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely was, because I'm new to your show. I'm just tuning in for the first time with one of my good friends who just introduced me to your show. So yeah,
it's not a show. It's a broadcast. Roland Martin has his show. Steve Harvey has his show. But if you have something off topic for tonight, why don't you give us a call back next week? Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get called from area code 954. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? Okay. Somebody's
Hello?
over here fighting with his phone. Let me get called from area code 773. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, you're on live. Wake up. What is your name? Where you calling from?
This is Charmaine. I'm calling from Chicago, Illinois.
All right, what's on your mind?
Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, we got one of Roland Martin's test tube babies on the line. Charmaine from Chicago. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind is that I don't understand what Roland Martin is talking about, because you have a lot of kids out here, a lot of fatherless kids. Would you consider them sperm donors?
Well, I consider them sperm donors. Well, I suppose technically they could be if they are not contributing to a household and leading and concerned about their legacy.
So we don't need men to march down there to no sperm banks. We need these men to be more responsible to their children that they making out here in these streets. Because my child's father is a sperm donor. He don't want to take care of his child. Have to put him on child support. Now he's mad. Want to be nice. Take me off child support. No.
How much, let me find out one question.
So, yeah.
One question. How long were you two married?
I wasn't married. I didn't want to marry him.
Okay, so why are we doing something as serious as making a 9-month life-threatening commitment like having a baby to somebody we're not even married to?
Well, at that point, at the time, I was using protection. Then all of a sudden,
clearly you were not. Clearly, no, it was not a mistake. A woman does not get pregnant by mistake. A woman gets pregnant because that's the man she wants.
No, that is not the man I want.
Clearly it is, ma'am. There's no such in the 20th, ma'am. You all have 30. You all have over 30 forms of birth control. There's no such animal, and you can track your ovulation cycle. There is no such animal as a female today who gets quote pregnant by accident. None whatsoever. It is always
But
planned.
You know what? There's complications when you take those birth controls.
Man, there's not complications with all. There's not complications with all of them. No, they're not.
Yes, it is. Well, for me, I take the Depo. I take the shot.
Okay.
When I take the pills, I throw up.
Okay, well, thank you. A Depo shot will work. A Depo shot will work. Yes, ma'am. That's why you still run around today worried about whether or not he's going. You worried about right now whether or not he's going to give you them coupons for Olive Garden because you wanted to keep that dude.
Well, I got one child by him, and one is enough. So
how many children do you? You only have one child.
They're not raised. A lot of these men out here don't want to be. Why are we even discussing about marriage?
Because you're not. If you're not,
out here don't even respect
ma'am. Because if you're not wife material, why would someone want to consider you for marriage?
Okay, then if I could be wife material, and I could be all the above.
But you're not. But you're not. But you're not.
Okay, then why
you're not.
Not working then,
ma'am? Because of women like you. You're not wife material, and yet you're complaining about nobody marrying you. You're not wife material. That's the root of the problem.
So so what do you consider wife material?
The opposite of you. A female who considers her body to be important. She doesn't make it open to men under raggedy circumstances. She has a criterion and a standard for the man that she spends time with, and she has a criterion and standard for whether or not she will carry his legacy. And you have none of those things.
Okay, so you trying to say I don't have no standard?
Ma'am, I'm not saying you have no
because
standards.
I have a child out of wedlock?
Ma'am, I'm not saying you have no standards. I'm saying you said you have no standards. I'm not saying it. You said it.
I don't have no standard. I just said I just messed around with the wrong person.
Thank you.
Makes mistakes.
Okay, but a woman who keeps the company of the wrong person long enough to get pregnant by him, she's not wife material. If she cannot make a distinction between a guy, if she refuses to make a distinction between I'll lay up with this fella, but I'm not going to get pregnant by him versus, well, you know what? Let's go half on the baby. A female who doesn't make that distinction isn't wife material because a man cannot trust her judgment to discriminate upon who she lays down with and what she does to control herself. No one's going to trust you with that.
Oh, okay then. All right, I would love for Jesus to tell me that.
Ma'am, okay, hold on, stop, slow down. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean by that. You say you want Jesus to tell you that?
Yeah, I want Jesus to tell me that.
Okay, what
exactly a little bit more judgmental.
What exactly would you like for Jesus to tell you?
Huh?
What exactly is it that you would expect for Jesus to tell you?
Everything that you just told me.
Okay, hold on a minute. Let me see. I'll see if there's anything we can do about that, because I wouldn't want you to sit up here and be left alone with anything. So. Okay. Trying to help here. I'm see if I can call up Jesus for you. I'm trying to see if I can get the right line so I can call up. I'm gonna see if I can call up Jesus for you and see if he.
Stop mocking God. God not to be mocked. You better read the word.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm trying to help you out with that, ma'am. I just want to make sure we get that taken care of, because she said we need to ask him. So I'm trying to see if I can ask him. So I since she said that what I'm saying is wrong, I wouldn't want anybody to come to the wrong conclusion about that. Okay, hold on a minute. Okay, let me see here. I'm working on it. Okay, nobody's picking up the phone. I think we might have had the wrong number, ma'am. I was trying to check on that. Nobody's picked up the phone just yet, so. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Hold on just a minute, ma'am. Okay. Hello? Yes, this is Jason Black. Oh, man. Yeah, I got a Charmaine on the line from Chicago. Yeah, she said that you love the illegitimate kids and the fatherless kids. Wait a minute. You said tell her read the 10 Commandments? You told her read the book of Matthew? You told her she needs to read the Bible? Oh, you said you know Charmaine, and you told her she wasn't wife material. Oh, okay. All right, thank you. I just wanted to make sure. All right, thank you. All right, Charmaine. Well, I just got off the phone with him. I don't think you're going to like what he had to say, but I just got off the phone with him, and that's pretty much the verdict is in. So.
That ain't the Holy Spirit, baby. That wasn't led by the Holy Spirit.
Okay, well,
that was led by the devil.
Charmaine, we'll see if we can see if you can get somebody to fix that car alarm. See if you can get somebody to fix that car alarm first there for you. Thank you very much here. At least it wasn't the smoke alarm chirping. So at least it wasn't that. So, all right. All right. Well, she wanted me to call him. You need to call him up. Okay, I did. All right. Caller from area code 954. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Bernie Cole. I'm calling from Albany, Georgia.
Bernie from Albany. What's on your mind?
Hey, great broadcast, man. I had to call in. I've been listening to you for a while. I went and retweeted the broadcast, and I put it down in the chat. And Roland Martin basically told me to shut the fuck up. So
with his big sassy ass.
Yes, sir. So I told him, I'm like, okay, well, stand by your bullshit and why don't you call in? He never responded, of course. But besides
you know what this means, don't you? Now he's gonna unblock me on Twitter so he can sit up here and tag me in a post on his page and then go right back and block me again. So that's what he does. He unblocks me for about 5 seconds so he can sit up here and troll for a minute, and then he's gonna block me again. So we all know that's coming.
Oh no, he trash, man. No, he definitely trash. And I just want to say I thank you for everything that you've been doing. Like somebody put me up to the show like a couple months ago, and I've been going back in the archives ever since. And the black media has inspired me to do something more of my community, and it's something that you and Professor Black Truth say all the time, that you guys can only do so much. It's up to us to go out and actually do stuff in our own community to try to inspire change. And that's something that I'm taking a heed to. So I have plans, and I plan on going back to school, re-educating myself, and trying to get in the city commission or whatever in my community to try to make a change, because there's a lot of shit over here in this area that's messed up. And, we can't keep going and complaining to the oppressors about making that change unless we're willing to make it. So
no, power is not given. Power is taken. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get call from area code 267. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, hello. This is Tammy. I'm calling from Williamsport, PA. How you doing? Yes, this is a great broadcast. Roy Moulton, he sounds like a lot of people that I know in my life, and it's crazy how they reduce Black men. They don't want to promote family, and that last caller, that female, she was ridiculous, and a lot of females remind me of her. How do you say you want to have a kid and complain about the type of man that you're having a kid with? If he's a low quality man and you got pregnant by him, you're a low quality woman yourself. So she just basically put herself on blast. It doesn't even make any sense.
Right, but the thing is, the chief determinant of the quality of the family is going to be the quality of the head of household. That is the man. When something goes bump in the night, we're responsible for that. If there's physical danger, we're responsible for that. When things have to be repaired, we're responsible for that. If I can decapitate the head of the family, if I can decapitate the head of the warrior class, if I can just leave it a bunch of women with children, you have what you have today, which is a conquered, decimated people going up against folks with intact families who have you outnumbered, outgunned, out-resourced, and out-organized. So, of course, they would like that. I'll let you have the last word.
Yes, and she has the audacity to bring up the Bible. The Bible specifically states, tells you how to be wife material and how a female is supposed to submit to a man in order to have the approval of that man. So for her to even, that's blasphemy, like what she was saying. And obviously she doesn't understand the Bible. A lot of these females like to bring up the Bible but don't even understand what the Bible is, because if you read the Bible, you will understand how a female is supposed to conduct herself. So shame on her.
Well, what she thinks is that the Bible said, it doesn't matter what I do, Jesus said he gonna love my bastard kids. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from code 808. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason, this is Lee calling from Honolulu.
Lee from Honolulu, what's on your mind?
A couple things. First off, I had a buddy who went to Iceland a couple years ago, and he told me this story about how they have an app over there. You go to a bar, you go out to a nightclub or whatever, it will ring if someone who's in your family bloodline is in the bar with you, because they're just such a small population. When you talked about all the bastard kids and not knowing who these donors are, it reminded me of that story.
That's creepy. Probably necessary. That's creepy. Probably necessary, but still creepy.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine being in there and you're like, oh, I found the one. Zzz. Oh, hell. You're going to be questioning. You're going to feel icky for the rest of the year. I don't care what happens.
Exactly. Also, they are definitely going to start looking at, if they haven't already, start looking at inmates to make anonymous donations. I mean, every now and then you hear a story about some good-looking black dude who's in prison, and all of a sudden, he becomes a social media sensation, and you hear all these prison guards who are having sex with this inmate and that inmate. They're definitely going to start on the low, if they haven't already, start grabbing some
the real thing is, this is how you destroy a society here, where you literally got Roland Martin saying we need more fatherless homes. That's literally what he's advocating for, and brought on someone with medical credentials to cheerlead and lead the band. Thank you very much for giving us a call. This woman's literally a medical doctor in Dallas. This is what we get from our medical establishment. This is what the black your so-called black professionals, I got a master's degree and I've got a doctorate and I'm an MD. Yeah, this is why so many men don't like that. Look, the bottom line is men are no longer checking for females who don't want a family like that. That's it. When you show that you're not wife material and you can't be trusted to be entrusted with raising a family, the men today are swerving around you like Mario Andretti. That is what it is. And instead of you saying, hey, let's get together and have these women have fulfilled lives, because having a gaggle of children isn't doing anything except making abusive homes. That's all that's doing. Why don't you go ahead and focus on what they really need? So they are openly trying to sow destruction. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program here on PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat. Tommy Felix, head of the class, thank you very much. Chris Ellis, Negus, Brenda Starr, that's my girl. Thank you very much for your support. Abdul Kayeem, Mark B, and Keith, thank you very much. Let me get caller from area code 619. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Chris from San Diego.
Okay, Chris from San Diego. What's on your mind?
Okay, there's a woman on the World Health Organization, and she, about a year ago, she said that they can kill the melanin in a rat. And they have the white rat and the black rat. They can kill the melanin in that. Now, we know that these white boys are not producing, so that's where they're going with this, where they're going to kill the melanin and, basically kill the melanin and put it in these white women and produce that black baby.
Well, I mean, certainly they want access to our genetics, but they don't want access to us. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller America code 718. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Caller from 718. Last try. You're on live. Okay, caller from 718 has been abducted. Let me get caller from area code 601. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Bright Eyes calling from Pearl, Mississippi.
Okay, I'm not sure what's going on here, baby. It sounds like you got the phone up under your butt cheeks. Can you pull it out real quick? We can't hear you. You're real muffled.
Is that better?
Okay, baby. It sounds like you had the phone up under your colostomy bag. What's your name? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Pearl, Mississippi.
What is your name? What is your name? What is your name?
I was asked to call in by D. Tubman.
Yes.
I'm Bright Eyes.
Okay, Bright Eyes. And what did you say that required you to have to call in?
I don't know. Ask D.
Ma'am, you do know what you said.
I made
a
number of texts.
Uh-huh.
I made a number of texts. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
So which one do you want me to address?
Ma'am, if you were asked to call in, you know, y'all always do this. Whenever you all get called out, all of a sudden you get stupid amnesia.
I'm one of your greatest
You
supporters,
know what
so
you said, ma'am.
You know what?
You know what you said.
Okay, let's go.
What did you say?
Yeah, I do. I know what I said.
Okay, don't be a coward. Don't be a coward. Just stand behind it. Just stand behind what you said. Don't be a coward.
Oh, it's difficult. I don't like to argue. So this was my opinion. I said that non-black people are really celebrating the fact that you have a lot of our people. We're not getting along with each other. We're not really solving our problems. We're being very combative with each other. We're really on destruction autopilot. Now, that was one of my statements.
Actually, you're a liar. That is not what you said.
That is one of my statements.
No, ma'am.
I'm a liar with you.
Ma'am, you're not a liar with me, and that just makes you a coward. What you said is non-blacks are clearly celebrating how our males are at war with our females. That's what your big fat lying ass said. Then you said, Charmaine, you're on point.
Please. I ain't the first person to lie, and I ain't the liar.
Okay, that's what you get for being off your meds, you Pillsbury dough girl built heifer.
What the fuck ever, hoe? What the fuck ever? I give you my bitch ass money, motherfucker.
You need to keep it so you can buy some extra dentures.
And I'm a big supporter of putting you on my goddamn page.
Okay, send me $50 on Cash App.
Fuck back out. Fuck you, bitch.
Give me $50. Send me $50 on Cash App. I don't believe you.
Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you.
Did you say you're gonna punch me?
Now, I ain't giving you 50 shit. Not for this.
Did you say you're gonna punch? Did you say you're gonna punch me out?
I support you all the time. I don't know what the fuck you talking about. I'm gonna say what the fuck I want to say. I ain't none of your punk ass followers.
Did you say you're gonna punch me out?
My goddamn nuts.
You said you're gonna punch me out?
You kiss my goddamn nuts. That's what you do.
Okay, you want to come punch me out? Is that what you want to do?
A lot of your followers should have been and cussed you the fuck out. I don't play with you.
Okay, are you gonna come punch me out? Is that what you're gonna do?
I said shut the fuck up.
You said you were gonna come punch me out. That's what you said.
Look, let me tell you something. I said I'd curse you the fuck out. That's what I said.
I thought you said you're gonna punch
And
me
I
out
said,
because I was
a
about to say if you're in that hover round, I don't see how you're gonna punch me out if you're in that hover round. I thought you're gonna have to jump out of that hover round like the little guy on Mike Tyson Punch Out. So
love you when you're wrong, they love you when you're right. But see, I only love you when you're right.
Okay.
And I didn't say anything against you. I said what I meant, and I meant what the fuck I said.
You are a profane little old granny.
Now you go get your med.
You are
now
a profane.
You
are a profane little old granny. What is wrong?
Fuck you, motherfucker. I'm having a bad fucking day, so I'm gonna drag you right along with me. Fuck you. What else?
How feminine.
Call you damn funky ass show.
How ladylike.
Fuck you.
Ma'am, I've been just fine without you. I've been just fine without you. It's very ladylike.
We ain't got no real fucking men amongst us.
You think a real man wants
you? Sit up and drag women every time a woman gets on your show, dude. You a punk ass motherfucker.
So you're a real woman. Is that what you're saying?
What the fuck ever?
So you're a real woman.
'Cause one thing about you, you ain't nothing but a mouthpiece, dude. That's all you are. You're very vile.
So you're a real woman. So you're a real woman.
Whatever.
This is a real woman on the line.
Whatever. If a lot of people think you white. You see what I'm saying? So
ma'am,
whatever you think.
You know what?
You
there may be one or two ignoramuses who think I'm white, but there's nobody who thinks you're a lady. Nobody. Zero. None.
Well, I knew better, but I'm just saying. So what about what you think about me? Female or male? You wrong on something. I wasn't calling you wrong on what you said. And I meant what I said.
You are wrong about being
at war with each other.
Nobody's at war
with each other.
No, black men are not at war with that.
Problems together by doing this. You drag every freaking woman down to the ground just about that calls on your show.
No, I do not, ma'am. If you just have a horrid sex, if you are a degenerate, if you're a degenerate, you are going to be called out on your degeneracy. That's not dragging you. That's truth telling.
I listen to you religiously.
Where's the lie? Where's the lie I've told?
Excuse you?
Where is the lie that I have told?
First of all,
all right, now go get your crack pipe and get off the phone.
I did not call you.
All right. Thank you very much. That's it right there. She's having a rough day. She just got back from the dialysis clinic. She's got some collapsed veins. One of the orderlies up in there that she been hitting on, he ain't really trying to fool with her like that. So she's in the chat room. She's angry. No, we're not going to ban you either, Bright Eyes. We're not going to ban. By the way, that's not a compliment either. Because if you black talking about bright eyes, that's not a compliment. But we're not going to ban you. We're not going to ban you. We know you need something to do with your time here in between trips to the dialysis clinic. So I get it. The Avita people need to know where you at. So. Jason, let him talk. Let him talk. I just let this old heifer cuss me smooth, slap the hell out. Let him talk, Jason. I'll let her talk. She didn't even want to stand by what she said. Let him talk, Jason. I'll let her talk. Call him area code 718. This is your last try. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Craig Blue from the Bronx.
Okay, Craig, what's on your mind?
As Neely Fuller always said, if we do not understand racism, white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything else will confuse us. The white supremacists have been trying to normalize same-sex marriage, white genetic survival. They have got black people not understanding that we are at war. We are terribly confused about the things that are happening right underneath our noses with our children. They're trying to normalize same-sex behavior with our children. Now they're going after black men's DNA, and they can genetically manipulate DNA at this point and this is a very scary time. I appreciate your broadcast. Greetings to all the listeners. Greetings to you, Jason Black. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for giving us a call. Now, let me get caller from area code 703. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller from 703. Last try. You're on live. What is your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Jason Black? This is Precise from Clarksburg, Maryland.
All right, Precise from Clarksburg. What's on your mind?
Man, you're directly on point with everything that you're saying tonight. I appreciate your broadcast. I appreciate everything that you do, sir. I mean, being the father of 2 children, this is disgusting, the material that you put out tonight. Everybody should wake up, open their eyes, open their mind to what is actually happening here. I've been married to my wife for 10 years. I have a 12-year-old daughter. I have a 7-year-old son. This is not a joke. This is not a game. What they're out here trying to do to our children and what they're out here trying to do to the Black family. So everything that you're saying is exactly on point. Everyone that's been calling in with that other foolishness is wrong. They are crazy. This is madness. Open your eyes and look around, people. Look at what's happening. Look at what's going on.
You know, they're literally digitizing the erasure of the Black man. That's what Roland's trying to do, is saying that we as Black men are no longer making ourselves genetically available as a free-for-all, that we are actually discriminating in what we do. And now they're telling us, well, you know what? Real men need to step up and just become degenerates out here. We ain't having it. We want structure, and we are taking control. And as a matter of fact, this is what the politicians don't like. Thank you very much for giving us a call. This is what the politicians don't like, is we as a group, the warrior class, setting the tone. Understand something. We didn't ask a politician to give us this. We didn't ask any of them to give us this. This is called taking power. This is called taking control. The politicians don't like this when you have your own agenda running counter to theirs. Now they're trying to figure out some way to influence us and pressure us into going along with that. Call from area code 404. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, my name is Raquel Rose. I'm calling from Atlanta. Hi, Jason.
Hi, Raquel from Atlanta. What's on your mind?
I just want to say, you know, the lady that called in, very disrespectful. I thought we were all trying to get on the same page. You know, I didn't vote for Warnock, didn't vote for Herschel, first or second time. You know, I don't really know what is the right or wrong thing to do, but, you know, it's just, to me, it feels wrong to keep participating in a system that isn't working for us. So I had a question for you. I'm registered as a Democrat. They were beating down my door every single day, sending me threatening messages like, you know, we know you didn't vote. It's of public record when you don't do so. Like, would it be beneficial for me to, like, change my voter registration status from Democrat to independent?
No.
Oh, okay,
Well,
got it.
here's
got
the
it.
thing.
I just didn't know what the strategy was.
I'll tell you what the strategy is. Everybody hold. Everyone hold. Hold firm.
Got it. That's exactly
Don't move.
what I did.
The reason why you want that to be where it is, because we want them to be able to document what's happened. We don't want to go invisible. We want them to be able to document. I'll be damned. We had 30 million of your vote last time. We only had 25 million of your vote this time, because then they can't lie to themselves and say something that this is just an anomaly. When they go election cycle after election cycle and they're able to track you and we know where you're at and we know what you were doing, and then all of a sudden you stopped voting. You didn't move. You didn't get up and leave. You just stopped voting. Right. And what you said confirms it. We know that you're there, but we know you were voting, but then you stopped. What you're doing is your silence is sending them a message. Your
Okay,
silence
okay.
is sending
Thank
a
you.
message that they can measure and they can quantify. This is why Roland Martin is scared to death and doesn't like it, because, yeah, we're saying we're not running. We want everyone to see what we're doing. So the strategy is to hold firm. And if anybody questions you about it, what do you tell them?
Well, my 12-year-old son opened the door and said, "We're voting for Herschel," just to annoy them, because, like I said before, December 6th,
that's good,
they
but
were at
that's
our
good,
door
but
every
that's
day.
okay. That's good, but that's not the answer. The answer is simple.
Oh, of course.
No tangibles, no vote. What are you
Got
doing?
it.
What are you doing specifically for black people? Well, we're going to offer health care and a cruise ship for all the minorities. No. We ain't doing that. Minority rising tide lifts all boats. People of color, marginalized community. No, specifically for black people. You're offering a Equality Act specifically for LGBT, a Dreamer Act specifically for illegals. We want a hate crime specifically for Asians. We want specific for black people and specifically the descendants of the slaves. We want specifics. And if you cannot do that, I'm Denzel Washington, that meme slamming the damn door. So what is the answer?
Got it.
No tangibles, no vote. What are you offering specifically to black people? Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. We want to know exactly what you are specifically offering to black people. Big shout out in the super chat here to Famously Blacker. Big shout out to Famously Blacker here. Thank you very much for your support. We appreciate that. Brother's trying to do the most. I think I'm gonna go buy a pallet of Pepto. Daro sent me a few dollars for some Pepto earlier, but thank you very much. I think I'm gonna go get an industrial sized pallet of Pepto after that call. But what's the name from Chicago? That deserves a theme song hit for us, so thank you very much for that. And also, big shout out here to Black Mzungu. Thank you very much for your support. I'm not exactly certain what denomination that's in, but thank you very much for your support. We appreciate that. Let me get caller from area code 773. You're on live with the Black Channel. I smell something familiar.
I just asked what you got going on. Hello, yo, hey, what's going on?
What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Yo, yeah, this global calling from Virginia.
This is
hey, yo,
this is who?
This
is who?
Global.
Okay, Globo calling from Virginia. Where at in Virginia?
Yeah, from Norfolk, the VA.
Okay, what's on your mind?
757. Man, look, I was watching Morris World TV, and he threatening you. All of a sudden, he started threatening you, and all different kinds of saying what he'll do, and he just said he found the information on Tyreek and everything. So he's just threatening you, and I'm like, damn, what the hell?
Brother.
I wonder if
brother,
this
okay,
week,
sir.
Huh?
Thank you very much for your call. Caller from area code 904. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, how you doing, Jason? Yeah, this is LG. I'm calling from the Jacksonville area.
LG from Jacksonville.
Florida.
What's on your mind?
Yeah. You was talking about the sperm donors not earlier, but I was wanted to ask you, do you support even black people or black men, I should say, rather, being a sperm donor for people who can't have kids or are struggling to have kids?
Well, certainly there can be. Obviously, there are going to be exceptions to anything. But here's the problem. Exceptions, by definition, are rare. Exceptions are not a way of life and a mass market product. Nature alone, we already have the ability to have children at the rate we need to. There is absolutely no reason to sit up here and try to pressure black men into giving up our genetic material all willy-nilly. If you cannot come to the table and convince us, let me tell you something. It is a privilege to bear a black man's children. That is a privilege. And they're trying to convince us that it's not a privilege, it's a commodity. Remember, nobody defeats you from the outside in. They have to defeat you from the inside out. No, we need to hold firm on our value. Let me tell you something. Ferrari doesn't have a sale. Hermes doesn't have a sale. Black men's DNA doesn't need to be on sale or for sale. You pay full price. If you're not worthy of being a wife, you're not worthy of being a mother. Now, are there instances where maybe that's something that there's an exception to the rule? Have to deal with that on a case-by-case basis. Am I completely against it under those circumstances? Not necessarily. But what I do know is that would be rare and exceptional. What it wouldn't be is average and everyday, and this is just standard procedure. So I'm willing to entertain exceptions to the rule. Sure, I'm willing to entertain that. But only if we acknowledge that this is an exception, it's a niche, this is a once a year thing in a very, very small segment population. You're not going to sit up here and just say, well, you know what, Bushika's last boyfriend left over here, so can we give her a pass? No, you can't. So because what you're really saying is, can we supplement a man who, for whatever reason, his sperm count isn't right? So we would have to talk to the man. The woman doesn't even need to be in the picture. She doesn't even need to be in the room. She doesn't even need to be in the discussion. My body, myself. My body, my choice. Okay, then in that circumstances, we're going to talk to the man alone. That's it. And guess what? Bad as this is, if he decides you don't need to be a mom, okay, that might be what it is. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get called from area code 305. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? Call from area code 305. You're on live.
How you doing, Jason? It's Lorenzo from Alaska.
Get the crack pipe out. What is your name?
This is Lorenzo from Alaska. Can you hear me? Because there's a lot of static on the line.
Dude, there's not that much static in the world. What's on your mind?
Nothing much. I was just calling in. Great program. I've been traveling the country and been telling people about you. And I just wanted to give you a shout out because I haven't called you in a long time. In case you don't remember me, I was the one you were talking to in Alaska. You asked me questions about the terrain.
Okay, and that's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've been working pretty hard doing lobbying and voting, all that kind of stuff. But I just wanted to give you a shout out while I had a chance. Driving on the highway now. And Roland Butterball Martin had blocked me too, said some nasty things about you, and I'm not having it. So be one brother, keep it up.
Well, just go by his house and throw some Pillsbury biscuits at the front door. He'll stick his head out. Thank you very much for giving us a call here. It's not very hard. All you gotta do is go by his house and throw a couple of Kaiser rolls at the front door. He gonna come sniffing out like a dog. Let me get called from area code 770. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, hi. This is Black Space Warrior from ATL.
All right, Black Space Warrior from ATL. What's on your mind?
Yeah, just I was circling in on the part you talking about the Wayland Yutani and all that. I could just see them trying to have an assembly line of black male babies working in asteroid mining and all this stuff and paying us real cheap labor. If you look at a lot of sci-fi movies, usually there's some kind of uprising from mining colonies. And so they would just be trying to continue low wage or slave labor all out there in space because, you know, we can handle radiation much better anyway. But that's
brother,
all I wanted to say.
Actually, it won't get that far along. You don't have to worry about Wayland Yutani. Brother, Amazon fulfillment. Damn a Wayland Yutani.
Yeah.
You got those circumstances now.
Sure
all the Amazon fulfillment centers trying to get unionized. Who is it in Alabama, New York, and who is it who's leading that? The black folk. You're already there. You're already there now. You don't have to worry about aliens and sci-fi, brother. You in the middle of it right now. It's not Wayland, it's Bezos. Let me get called from area code 618. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Jason. Good evening. This is Miriam calling from East St. Louis, Illinois.
All right, Miriam from East St. Louis. What's on your mind?
Sure. It's much to touch upon, but I'll be quick. Very interesting, poor excuses for some of the so-called women that called in this evening. They do not speak for us. We know for a fact that if you take away the warrior class, which is our black men, that leaves us vulnerable as a nation. And if they're messing with our men's genetic material. That is the annihilation of us as a people, as well as when you look into the fact that they've been messing with the black woman's genetic material since Henrietta Lacks. So they're coming full circle on this. And we better take heed to what it is that you are teaching and exposing tonight, and not forget it, not tuck it away. We better keep our ears to the ground and be proactive about this, and definitely discuss this, especially to our youth, because this is not a game. This is white supremacy doing what they do with their agenda. As far as Jeff Bezos goes and the rest in the eugenics movement, Bill Gates and such, we really have to understand that we are at war, and you have to know thy enemy, and just stay focused, stay fit, and stay informed. And I love you, and I'm thankful for you, brother, and all the rest of, the black media, true black media, the new black media, because you teach nothing but truth, raw, hard truth, and sometimes that's hard for others to swallow, especially when you shake them awake. It could be a painful experience, but growing pains are painful too. It is all necessary. Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving us a call, nice sister, and thank you very much for your support also. Let me get called from area code 321. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Jason. This is Jay from Orlando.
All right, Jay in Orlando, what's on your mind?
I just had a question. Do you think this pressure for black men to be as sperm donors, like a deliberate effort to sidestep the work women have to put in to get with a producer?
Well, I mean, there's
like
that too.
Donor.
Just having children is not the problem. Just having children is not the problem. You're going to have to, they want to have children by an affluent man. And then when they don't qualify for that, because their genes are talking to them, they're just like, okay, well, I'll just have some children any old kind of way I can. And all you really end up with are these abusive homes with these single moms abusing the kids. That's what you end up with. So if she's not suitable to be a wife, then she's not suitable to be a mother. But yes, that does play a strong part in it. When they go to see these people, they're really like, okay, I'm trying to get, a kid with certain eyes and certain look. And is his father smart? See, they ask, those are the kind of questions they want to ask. Is dad smart, and was he tall, and is he good looking? And I want the child because I don't qualify for the man. And rather than saying, let me qualify for the man, it's okay, can I get a shortcut? Can I get a bypass? Can I circumvent the rules?
Right. Yeah, I thought as much. That's pretty much all I had. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you very much for giving us a call. Absolutely, that's what it's for. Absolutely. It's about, can I get a pass to circumvent the rules? Can I get a pass to circumvent the rules? That's what they're trying to figure out here. And they shouldn't be allowed to do that. That's not your point. That's not your place. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. Shouldn't be allowed to do that. But, it's just one of those things where, yeah. I want to have a moment here to talk to the brothers right now is what I'm going to do. I want to have a moment here to talk to the brothers. Let me tell y'all something right now. Do you understand that what they have just acknowledged is that we are a force to be reckoned with simply by sitting still? They can't replace us. You see, we've been getting stepped on and taken advantage of and demonized and ostracized and victimized. And what we're showing right now is, hey, we don't have to deal with that. Big shout out, Famously Blacker in the super chat. Big shout out to you here. We don't have to put up with that anymore. We are essential simply by sitting still. Understand something. All we have to do is hold firm. We are not giving up our genetic material anymore. We can control the birth process in America from ourselves. The very fact you are demanding this from us means that we got the power to call hands. And we calling them. We get to decide who gives birth to the most in-demand children, to the most desired children. We get to pick and choose that. How dare you sit up here and give away your damn leverage? Once you told us we're in demand, oh, hell no. You shouldn't have never told us that. You want a kid going to the NBA? I said it. Then you're going to have to be mother material, which means you're going to have to be wife material. We are not interested in the screwed up, dysfunctional, disorganized process that was promoted by the baby boomer generation. The baby boomer generation, when the government came up with something as pathetic as a WIC voucher, they all jumped at it hook, line, and sinker. The government sponsored the destruction of the black family, and as a result, they sponsored the destruction of generational wealth and led us into generational poverty. That was the result. We are not doing what the civil rights generation did. We are not gonna do what the civil rights generation did. We are not signing up for that government-sponsored Faustian bargain anymore. You are not gonna tell us that our children are a transaction and a commodity. Our children are priceless. And you gonna pay the freight. And it damn sure ain't no $250. And not no crackhead dream of 65. No. The spigot is off. No more free babies. Not from black men. No more free babies from the alpha class. All this damn time they've been getting a free damn ride. To every black male out there, I don't care if you were raised in a 2-parent home, a 1-parent home, or a no-parent home. No. If she has not qualified in your eyes to be worthy of wife material, she does not get the reward and the privilege of carrying your legacy. See, they've been telling us our legacy has no value. Now they're sitting up here at the last minute scrambling. Even Jeff Bezos is acknowledging your legacy has tremendous value. Now that you done told us that, you done messed up now. Now that you told us you confirmed the value of it, oh, you done messed up now, cuz. This is it. What you mean? Oh, no, we calling shots from here on in. We're calling shots from here on in. We are making it very clear to you, oh, you might as well go ahead and close down the sperm bank if you're waiting for us to show up. You might as well close down the sperm bank if you're waiting for us to show up. We're not coming. We're not coming. If she's not wife material, don't worry about it. This is how you influence and change a society. Fellas, get your bread up, get your weight up, and do not get anybody pregnant who you do not deem worthy of being your wife. The old ways are the best ways, period. The old ways are the best ways. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. They want us because the sperm count is strong. It's vibrant. You get the best results. That's what they're looking for. We don't need to be giving that away. We ain't giving away nothing. Because all they gonna do is put you in a damn trick bag. That's the other part about it. Even if you one of the dumbasses crossing the picket line talking about, I don't care, all the women need to be having my babies, and then next thing you know, them hoes turn right the hell around, go to see Judge Wapner, and he talking about, you know, we found out who you was, you have to pay child support. I thought I was anonymous. I signed a contract with the sperm bank. Sir, a private contract does not supersede law. And if you are the father of the baby and she wants to put you on child support, the contract with the sperm bank does not supersede law. So she can tear that paper up at any time. You are subject to the law, not that piece of paper that you got from the sperm bank. If she wants to turn her back on that, that's what she can do. And you know what the hell? Roland Martin isn't going to be showing up at your damn hearing to sit up here and tell the judge, well, no, Your Honor, he was doing the right thing Roland gonna be sitting in D.C. saying, man, that show is messed up. Call America code 718. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Jay. This is James calling from Pennsylvania.
James, from where at in Pennsylvania?
Poconos, Pennsylvania.
All right, what's on your mind?
First, the comment is I can definitely see black men's sperm showing up at these fake rape crime scenes to throw innocent black men in jail. Also, my question is, can you please elaborate on this subject? I don't know if a lot of people know how very spiritual and biblical this is. It's more than just planting a sperm seed in a woman. It has more to do with the years that child, when it comes into the world, all the years that child is being brought up by the father and the mother in the home for years to grow from a child into a young adult, into a full-grown adult. The development stages of that child being with the mom and the dad is very spiritual and very biblical. Can you please elaborate on that?
Well, as far as biblical and everything, if that coincides with your belief systems, certainly. It certainly is not a transaction. It's not a transaction. Right. This is not commerce. This is not like exchanging a bale of wheat for a goat. Let's be very, very clear. Of all the things in existence, there's a reason why no matter what your religious belief, and if you don't even have one, even Professor Richard Dawkins, lifelong atheist, and he wrote a book, The Greatest Show on Earth, referring to even what he would call the miracle of life. Well, what is the miracle of life? Reproduction of cells. A living cell that can turn itself into more than one. A living cell that can procreate. Stars cannot do that. Rocks can't do that. Correct. Life is a rare thing. Now, we're going to go even further and say sentient life. Life that is self-aware of itself in the universe, that can ponder and consider its place in the universe. That is the rarest of all. You can teach a dog tricks, but dogs are not sentient. Apes are not sentient. Goats and birds are not sentient. You can teach them to parrot and repeat a phrase or talk, but they don't contemplate their place in the universe. We are unique. We're unique.
Amen. Amen.
We're unique. So that in and of itself is proof positive of how special that is. You don't take the most unique fundamental thing in the universe and then treat it like it's a common commodity. You are supposed to fight to defend it to your last breath, to your last day. The truth is, we don't know where this is going. We don't know where the universe unfolding itself is going. We're really at the beginning of it. So we're supposed to be sitting here safeguarding it, but furthermore, our regard for life is what gives us the right. That's what gives us the right to exist. A species that will not defend or value its own offspring has forfeited its right to continue living. By definition. If you do not, your right to exist can only be as high as your belief in your offspring's right to exist. Simple as that.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight here. This is one of those self-evident things. This is self-evident. In the chat room, I don't know why Lois is saying it's going to voicemail or something. I don't know what she's talking about. She's dialing the wrong number if you're getting voicemail. Don't know what you're talking about, man. It doesn't have a voicemail number. So let's stop bull jiving. Let's stop bull jiving. It's not a voicemail number. Nice try, kid. It's not a voicemail number. Come on now, don't be shy. Come on up here. Come on up here now. Don't be shy now. They all big and talking to things earlier. Don't be shy, ma'am. Not a good thing for you to be in this regard now. I need some of the ladies here tonight to have that fortitude now. They're in the chat asking questions. They get here. All of a sudden, they're quiet. By the way, that's my voice. So the phone lines work fine. Okay, now that we've settled that. Boy, they're like, Jason is just lit on tonight's program. Now that we've settled that, the phone lines work just fine, ma'am. They work just fine. Nothing wrong with them at all. Just called it myself. Just in case you needed somebody to do that. By the way, it works just fine, Lois. Works just fine. It's going to voicemail. There is no voicemail. It's blog talk. Hey, Lois, why don't you tell us what the voicemail says? Why don't you tell us what the so-called voicemail says, Lois? Why don't you tell us what it's saying to you? She claims it's getting voicemail. Hey, why don't you tell us what the voicemail message is telling you? Since she claims it's going to voicemail. Go ahead and tell us what that voicemail message is saying to you. I want you all to understand that this is an existential battle for our right to exist. What Roland Martin did is not a simple, trivial thing that can be swept aside. What Roland Martin is doing here is literally sitting up saying that he is now agreeing to openly be the voice for the dehumanization of black men and reducing us down to a DNA strand that can be purchased like a Snicker bar at a convenience store, that's the limit of our value. No, we're supposed to make it very clear that we are priceless. We are ultra precious and priceless. You can't put a price on us. And the utter guttural disrespect that we've been suffering under now for 6 decades of government-sponsored misandry, no, that's coming to an end now. And they're letting you know that we done backed out altogether. This is how you have power. Let me get calling from area code 347. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? Okay, this Negro is sitting on the phone here having a sensual, intimate moment with his Nextel. So let me just go ahead and leave him alone. Let me go ahead and just leave him alone since he's got better things to do right now. So we ain't mad at you. Just don't call in here for it. I don't want to be a party to it. Brothers and sisters, this is exactly what I'm telling you about here all this time. This is why the old black media had to go. This right here is the very essence of why the old black media had to go. They will push anything that a corporation, a politician, or somebody they think they can get some extra bucks off of, they will push anything that those people tell them. Anything at all. We cannot have individuals who are so devoid of scruples. We cannot have individuals who are so devoid of scruples. We have to have standards. We have to have standards. We have to have standards, and we are enforcing them ourselves. We don't need a government to value us. That's the takeaway from this, brothers. We don't need a government to value us. Power is not given, power is taken. And what you are seeing is the power of discipline. And we didn't need anybody to give us this. We gave this to ourselves. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. Once again, I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program here on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat. Famously Blacker, thank you very much here. Miss Chatters and everybody else who has contributed to support tonight's program. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the haven of intelligent black thought. We do this every weekend. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time. And if you haven't gone to our website, blackchannelfilms.com, you want to go there and check out our groundbreaking best-selling documentary work, 7 a.m., Gentrified, Race War, all available on DVD. Go to blackchannelfilms.com. That is blackchannelfilms.com. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is black.